Hey guys, shout out to Inti. He told me he wanted to hear me say that. So, hey guys, how's it going? These notes today are going to be for percent increase and decrease, also known as a markup or markdown. So, this word percent increase or decrease, this markup, markdown, is something that we see a lot when we're shopping, we're spending our money. A percent increase is also known as a markup. It makes the value of something increase, remember, go up by a certain percentage. You may need to add, just depending on what the question asks. Sometimes in a question, they'll say, how much tax will you pay for this item? Sometimes they'll say, how much will you pay in total? So you'll have to take the cost of the item plus the tax. So you just really need to read the question and understand what are they wanting me to do here. Special marks up like they have, like I just talked about, they add a tax as a special kind of markup and also a tip if you go out to eat at a restaurant. Those are two very special types of markups that we see a lot. So down here for an example, we see the original cost of an item was $10 and we want to mark it up 150%. So the first thing that we're going to want to do is figure out how much is that markup. So if I bring up my calculator, I know it's $10 that I have, and I want to mark it up 150%. There's two different ways that you can go about this. I can say that I want to know 150% of that original $10, and that would be $15. I would then take that $15 and add my $10 to it, which would tell me that the total cost is going to be $25 for that item after the markup. That's one way if you want to do it the calculator way. Or you can figure out what 150% of 10 is. So before I can just go straight into multiplying anything, I need to turn my percent into a decimal. So I go to the left, and I get 1.5. I would take that 1.5 times 10. If I do that in my calculator, clear. 1.5 times 10 gives me 15. And again, that $15 is the amount of the markup. That $15 is the amount of the markup. But I'm not done yet, because if I want to figure out what the total cost is, I need to take the $10 that it was at first and add that $15 to it, which again we see the total cost would be $25. Total cost would be $25. Moving on now to percent decrease. Percent decrease is also known as a markdown. You might also hear a markdown called a discount, or you might heard it be called a sale. If you go to the grocery store or you go to buy a pair of shoes and it's 20% off, that's a sale, that's a discount. That's a discount. We're going to make the value of something less or decrease. And again, you may need to here subtract, depending on what the question asks. Just like before, we might need to, here with the markup, we might need to add to get the total price. But with a markdown, with a decrease, we might have to subtract to get the total price. So in this question, my original price is $25, and I'm going to mark it down 12%. So first off, I have to figure out what is 12% of 25. Like we did before, We turn my percent into a decimal. So I see I need to take 25 times 0.12. 25 times 0.12. And I see that that is equal to 3. So 3 is the amount of the markdown. That's not how much it's really going to cost. That's the amount of my markdown. So if I want to figure out the total price, the total cost, I would take that 25 and would I add or subtract that 3? Yeah, I'm going to subtract it. Why? Because it's a markdown. I'm paying less. My price is going to go down. So this, Andrea, would really cost me $22 instead of 25. That would really cost me $22 instead of 25. Again, we multiply by the percent, and then we may need to add or subtract. We may need to add or subtract. Now you might be wondering, why do we do this? Why do we have this markup, this markdown, this tax, this tip, all that stuff? Stores and restaurants, like we said, they have tax and they have tip. Tax is an amount of money that you pay toward the government for services. So when you go out to eat at a restaurant, when you go to shop at the grocery store, sometimes those things are going to be taxed. And that money goes to the government to help pay for things. They help pay for schools, they help pay for roads, they help pay for teachers, police officers, firefighters, the library. All that stuff is funded with tax money. And then when you go to a restaurant, you'll leave a tip. You'll leave a tip to thank the waiter for serving you, for waiting on you. Waiters and waitresses really only make about $2 an hour. So if you don't leave them a tip, they don't make a lot of money. So that's why we tip really well if the server treats us well, and we don't tip as much if they don't do as good of a job. It's kind of a little bit of a motivation for them. We also see them as like discounts, like we talked about, or sales, or coupons. I know I like to buy things on discounts. I like to save money, and that's how we do it, with discount sales and coupons. Quick reminder, to work with percents, you must change that percent to a decimal. You must change that percent to a decimal like we did when we were comparing and ordering. Remember, it's Beyonce's favorite thing to do. Put that decimal point at the end, move it to the left, and that would be 0.8 in decimal form. My money's in decimal form, not percent form, so I have to turn my percents into decimals. 5%, I put my decimal point at the end, move it to the left, and I get 0.05 in decimal form. 0.05. I'm going to have you try an example now. This is going to be a markdown. The original price is $30. The markdown percent is 20%. I want you guys to show me both pieces of information. I want to see how much is the markdown and what the total cost is going to be after the markdown. So go ahead, pause your video, and try that for me. Did you double check your work? Double check your work. Okay. We should move that decimal point to the left. I take my $30 times 0.2, and I should get $6. If you don't believe me, let's type this in the calculator. 30 times 0.2 is $6. So that's the amount of the discount. That's the amount of the discount. Now I want to take that $30 and subtract my $6. $30. That was my original price. I take my original price minus the $6 of the discount to get my total. 30 minus 6 is $24 for that item now. $24. We got 3 more problems. Now we got word problems. Word problems now. This first one says, a shoe store buys a pair of boots for $120. The store decides on a markup of $35. What will the markup of the boots be? So if you own a store, you buy those boots, do you want to sell them for the same price you paid for them? No, you're not going to make any money. So you, as a store owner, want to mark up the price so that you make some money. Your boots were originally $120. Again, a markup means I'm going to add or subtract. Markup means I'm going to add. My price is going to be getting bigger, of 35%. What will the markup of the boots be? So this is where we need to read the question. The question says, what will the markup of the boots be? I don't want the total cost. I just want to know how much am I going to add to get the total cost. So all I need to do for this first part, I just need to take my $120 times that 35%. $120, 35% is a decimal, 0.35. If I type it in my calculator, $120 times 0.35 gives me $42. So that means the markup is going to be $42. I, as a store owner, am going to make $42 when I sell that pair of boots. Down below, it says, what will the new total cost be? We know total is a keyword for add. So now is when I want to take the amount of my markup, my $42, and I want to add it back to that $120 to see how much would I put for the price tag of these boots. I bought the boots for $120. I want to add $42 because that's how much money I want to make on these boots. So that means I need to sell them for $162. So that's a sale price. How much somebody in the store is going to buy them for. That $42, that's how much money I make. And the $120, that's how much they originally cost. That's how much they originally cost. The next one, it says a pet store marks down all of its brushes by 15%. So the brushes for your dog's hair, marked down 15%. If a brush was originally $25, how much is the amount of the discount? I don't want to know how much altogether. I just want to know the amount of the discount. Go ahead, pause this video and try it all on your own. So if I take my original $25 times the 15% of my discount, I see on my calculator, I'm going to take $3.75 off of the original price. You might see that wording, dollars off, and that means it's a discount. That means it's a sale. So go ahead, pause your video again, and figure out now the total cost. The total cost. Remember, it's a markdown, so that means I need to subtract from my original amount. Pause the video, try this one on your own. Okay, hopefully you guys found that the new sale price of that brush for your pet would be $21.25. Hopefully you guys got that. If not, put a question in the chat for us. You can unmute your mic, let us know what questions you have. But if we're good, we're going to go ahead and move on to the next one. This next problem, we're going to have you do the whole thing on your own. You are going to do this whole thing on your own, both parts. I'll read it to you though. Sophia is buying flags to sell at her store. She buys the flags for $15 each and wants to sell them in her store. I don't know why I say it's his. In her store for a 26% markup. How much is the markup? And the second part, how much will the flags cost at Sophia's store? I'm going to pause the video. Try the whole problem on your own. Type an X in the chat when you're done. And once we see that most of us have it, we'll go over it together. All right, so the first part, I need to take my cost and multiply it by my markup. So I take my $15 times 0.26. $15 times my markup, 0.26. I see that the markup is going to be $3.09. Remember, it's money. Money has two numbers after the decimal point, so throw a zero at the end. So $3.90 is how much she's going to make. That's her markup amount. And then how much will the flags cost now at her store? We take the $15 and it's a markup. Remember, markup means we're going to add. So the $15 of the original cost plus the $3.90 for the markup means that we're going to sell these flags for $18. Or I should say Sophie's going to sell these flags for $18.90. All right, we're going to go ahead and get into some practice. If you have any questions, please let us know. We'll be happy to answer them for you. Good luck.